So I've been nerding out with all the guests about their love of cinema, where that stemmed from. So off the bat, I want to know, what is your go-to comfort film, your underrated film, and then top 3 of all time?
My go-to comfort film, maybe The Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
you know,
Christmas time.
Yeah, it's just like so cozy, and like you get to go on that adventure, and brings me back to when I was 8 and my parents read those books to me for the first time. It's just like such a strong, like homey, warm, and feeling about it.
100%.
In terms of like guilty pleasure film, like I'd like my favorite B movies. This film called Blood In, Blood Out, or Bound by Honor, has 2 titles. It's about like Chicano gangs in LA in the 80s, I guess, 80s, 90s. And it's like the best B movie, and it's like 3 or 4 hours long, and it's epic.
Wow.
And it's like, but it's just definitely a guilty pleasure film.
Okay, I haven't heard of that one. I'll add that to my list. Yeah. Top 3 of all time. This is a very daunting one.
Yeah. I would say Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind would be up there. I love City of God, that Brazilian film. Yeah. That comes to mind.
Mike Starr mentioned that one yesterday as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that comes to mind. What else comes to mind? I mean, there's like, Raging Bull.
Absolutely classic.
Taxi Driver, all those early Scorsese films, absolutely amazing. Godfather 1 and 2. Skip the last one. There's plenty of good cinema out there.
Okay, this is a fun one. So if you could live in a world from cinema to television for a week, where would it be and why?
I think I'd probably have to say Middle Earth, Lord of the Rings.
Be tough to survive though. If you lived in the Shire, you're okay, aren't you?
I mean, I guess that's a problem, because you'd like to explore. It's such a massive world, so you'd like to explore several different kingdoms and eons and times and whatnot. But yeah, that's a cool world. That's probably my favorite fictional universe.
What is the scariest film you've seen, and then in comparison, the funniest?
I'd say the scariest film I've seen was The Shining, because I saw it as an 8-year-old. I don't know why my parents, they let me see that film, and they were like, they're like, you can watch it. And I was terrified. I didn't even know it was a horror film. I was like, what am I watching? And it was, but I love it as well. I kept watching it, as I got a little bit older. But as a kid, when you go through that horror phase, I always kept revisiting that film, because it's just so tremendous. But it's scary as hell.
It is.
Yeah, and also like the first time I saw The Ring, the Japanese The Ring, that freaked me out as well. Yeah.
Makes you scared of the television, doesn't it? I always talk about this with Jessie yesterday.
My girlfriend called me one day. I lived with her at the time. And my girlfriend at the time, and she called me, and she was screaming the phone. She's like, "What effing asshole? What have you done?" I was like, "What? What's going on? What's going on?" And she'd come home, and the television was on black and white, and like a week after we'd seen the film, and she lost her but apparently, I think I played the video game or something. I turned it off, but forgot to turn the TV off, and then it was black, and then after a while, it started doing that thing. So yeah.
She thought you put a curse on her.
She thought I pranked her, but I didn't. Yeah.
What about the funniest? What's the funniest film you've seen?
I don't know. It's also like, I don't know how well they hold up anymore. Do you know what I mean? But as a kid, I don't know how many times I watched like Dumb and Dumber. It's a classic. Something About Mary, like all those films at that time, they were just so hilarious at the time. I don't know how they hold up though. I haven't revisited them in a long time, but at the time, yeah.
Right, in contrast to funniest, what is the film that always makes you cry, no matter what?
I don't know, but one film that made me bawl, the last one I can remember, was Manchester by the Sea.
Big time.
Yeah, that was a baller. For sure.
It's a really good choice.
Yeah.
It's like you're just your heart is getting crushed with every moment of that film, isn't it?
Brilliant. Yeah.
What about favourite score? Like, that is something that just transcends filmmaking and heightens cinema to a whole different level.
I mean, I just, sometimes I feel like the score gets in the way when it's too much, you know?
It needs to blend together perfectly, doesn't it?
It does. It has to lift it up. But, I think I got to go with Lord of the Rings again.
Wow.
I actually saw there was like a live concert of the music as they were screening the show
You went to that?
in Ireland. Yeah, and I went to that show.
Nice.
Again, it's like those tunes, those melodies are like so nostalgic and beautiful. Yeah.
Well, finally, what are your go-to things to do on a day off? You got a complete day to yourself, which I'm guessing is quite rare. What are you getting up to?
I would just do like sort of self-care stuff, maybe exercise, maybe get a massage, go for a walk, get out into nature, meditate, do sort of,
You're going to feel good.
You're going to feel good. Yeah.
100%. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Some great answers there. I now know that you're a massive Lord of the Rings nerd like myself.
Yes.
So, pleasure speaking to you, and enjoy the rest of the Comic Con. Thank you.